Hey, what's going on, travelers? It's Ricky Ventures and Marlon Madden, and we're back with you for another episode of the Success Journey Show. What's going on, everyone? What's going on, Marlon? How you doing today, bro?
Oh man, I see you have something in your hand there. I
Yes,
don't want
sir.
to talk. I just want you to go straight to it, man. I just wanted you
Listen,
to go straight to it. Fruits of the labor.
listen, man. It started off on a piece of paper like this. This is where it started, and actually, or in the mind, I should say. But then it
Yeah.
went to a piece of paper, and then 2.5 years later, we have a full product here, man. And it looks simple, right? I mean, it's nice and sleek. I'm trying to make sure I can see it in the camera. Nice and sleek. This couple parts, but the impact this thing makes is phenomenal. We're just excited that it's here, man. It's here.
Yep.
The shipment from China. I got boxes all up in my garage now of all this stuff. So I cleaned my garage out just in time for these things to fill them back up. But it's exciting, man, to be like, hey, we got to this point. But man, I don't know if it's just me. It's called the Elite Swing Trainer, by the way. If you want to check it out, go to hitdrmd.com. Hitdrmd.com. You can check it out on there. There's a video on there, how it works and all that good stuff.
We have a promo code, Rick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Anyone that's playing baseball, softball, this device is for you. You can check it on the website, but real quick to explain it, it helps prevent casting or early extension when you're hitting. Okay, it's a device to help hitters hit better, right? So keep
Instant feedback.
Your technique. So with this right here, it's an indicator right here. Indicator tells you if your hands are inside the ball, if they're not, right? And this indicator just boom as you hit it with a bat, right? But go to the website, you'll see the video of what it does, how it works. The promo code, get this, right? The promo code is home run 10. Home run 10 for $10 off. Home run 10 for $10 off. Don't be like me when I go and look up coupons and be like, well, maybe there's a $50 off. Home run 50. All right. We don't have a home run 50. All right. Home run 10, $10 off. Yeah, we're excited. But at the same time, we're excited. I don't know about you, Marlon, but it's like I've been here before, right? I've been here
Yeah.
where you get projects done. I have, I won't say I'm close to master the process of developing something, right? Whether it's a book, whether it's this, whether it, now where I want to master, where I really want to go is on the selling side,
Yeah.
marketing side, selling side. I want to, how do we grow? How do we get in that area? So my mind now has shifted from, okay, how am I getting a product here? How is the product going to work and all that kind of stuff? Is it the right target market to actually now market it and expanding the reach of this product? So yeah, man, it's all learning, it's all growing, and just enjoying the ride, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It definitely is. I'm not saying enjoying the ride, but there's been some sleepless nights this week.
Yes, it has.
Yeah,
Yes, it has.
just thinking
It
about
has.
it.
It has.
So, but yeah,
I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm telling you, I'm like you, and I know we should be celebrating we got the product, da 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 da. But I'm like you, I have the product, I don't want it in your garage anymore. I want it out.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
guys, early arm biasing, casting, arm barring, and extensions. We're going to help that out. It is definitely instant feedback. And when you go onto that website, hitdrmd.com, you'll see how it fits on any tee. So whatever tee you have, it fits on there, and it'll give you the automatic real time. And we had a kid that hit almost 1,000 on it, and his swing changed exponentially after repetitions on this thing. But I'm not here to sell. Well, yes, I am. But I won't use this platform to strictly sell. Guys, the show that we have coming up is amazing. Rick, the show is getting to a sweet spot that a lot of people are telling us, like, yo, I've listened to your show It's helped so much. But the same thing, Rick, everybody that we see, they love the show, they love the show. But I look at their Instagram, I look at their Facebook, you have never shared it. Mm-hmm. You like that, hey, we need this in the atmosphere to combat the negativity that's out there. But I've never seen you share it. I've never seen you grab an episode and said, let me just grab an episode from YouTube and share it on my social media platform and blast it out. That's where we're at now. This next year, we're just like, yo, okay, great. Thank you for telling me the show's great. Share it. Yeah. If you believe it's so great, you share it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're at.
But hey, we're going to let you go, man. We got a little quick commercial here. But tune in right after this commercial because a phenomenal guest is coming on. His name is Vince, and Vince is getting ready to talk about money. And you do not want to miss this at all because it's something for you. All right, guys. We'll see you in a little bit.
For many years, players have struggled to receive proper feedback when training off a tee, causing players to develop improper muscle memory and swing mechanics. This leads to early extension, arm barring, casting, and increased strikeouts at the plate. Other products on the market are not durable, frustrating to use, and are not suitable for all ages. The Elite Swing Trainer is the perfect way to improve your swing naturally. It attaches to any tee, has an adjustment feature to train beginners to advanced hitters, provides instant feedback without a coach, useful for all ages and all levels, extremely durable, and lets players train correctly on their own.
Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
All right, travelers, we have come to our favorite segment of the show. Where we bring on a guest that is phenomenal, has a pathway and journey that we just got to share with the world, and is none other than Vince Shorb. Vince, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, why don't you start off, man? It's a privilege, it's an honor to have you here, man. And why don't you start off with our guests, sharing just a little bit about yourself so they can kind of get caught up to who you are.
Yeah, I'll rewind many years, as a child. That's where I found my passion, right? And I didn't know I had this passion at that time, but I saw my parents family kind of, trying to, get ahead, right? And always challenges that they face. And I've always been interested in the concept of money, the concept of entrepreneurship, the concept of business, right? From a young age, and had the things that kids do, I sold lizards, I collected cans. I did a number of just crazy little side things to bring money in just because, hey, I was interested in that. And, in high school, I had an interest in real estate. So I started to read a ton of real estate investing books. I was a guy in back of class reading those books instead of paying attention to what they were teaching there. And I always remember feeling frustrated as well. They weren't teaching me the things that I was interested in. I didn't need a lot of these things. I know, Ricky, you have a background in STEM, and I didn't need those things, right? Other people do, but I always felt like they weren't teaching to me. I really want to learn about money, investing, growth, leaving a legacy. And, I've gotten to the financial services to really address that, right? After I went through my own challenges through high school and college, which are common for most people moving out on their own for the first time. And, I really started to focus on, hey, how can I help people? So I got into financial services, did a number of roles there. And I felt over the years, just a growing sense of frustration, right? I would help somebody get their finances in order. And then 3-6 months later, they'd be back in even a worse situation, right? So I felt like I was putting a Band-Aid on them instead of really helping them work toward what I wanted for them, which was that financial security, financial wellness that they shared with me. And, I got frustrated, took a trip up to my parents, and my mom sat me down. She said, hey, you always talked about, wishing that they taught personal finance in school, financial literacy in school. And from that conversation moving forward, I really left that financial service industry. I founded the National Financial Educators Council back 16 years ago, went by another name then, but the basic premise was the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing today. We're here helping people, empowering communities through training educators, training coaches to build up presence and serve people in their local communities. And that's the misdirected passion in the middle. But I finally found my rhythm, and I really feel it's a legacy project for me moving forward.
Man, I love it.
I'm gonna love this, Rick. I'm gonna love this.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love when you said, hey, you were the guy in the classroom, like reading up on like books on how to make money, right? You're in school, and I tell my sons this all the time now. It's like, everyone's going to go through a 12-year period, right? It's guaranteed you got to go through the 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Kindergarten, K through 12. So it's like 13 years, right? But all of that education is to help support a capitalist society in some form of fashion, right? So you need to learn how this money thing works, because that's what this all thing. Either you're learning how to make someone else money, or you're learning how to make money on your own. Like those are the two different things. But we get blinded. So I'm hearing you as a high school student, you're sitting in the back like, man, what is this whole money thing? I'm learning math, I'm learning science, I'm learning all this stuff, but how does it relate to me and my family? Building wealth. Like where did you that's not normal, man. That's not a normal person.
I've been accused of that before.
Yeah.
But I had some inspiration from my dad and my grandfather. They always had an interest and passion, brought me in. They kind of gave me their old investing books, right? Hey, read this, do this. And so I had a lot of support there. But I just think seeing what was being taught, I'm like going, why, I don't need to know the periodic table of elements. I mean, it's cool for like a half-hour documentary on discovery, but it's not cool for an entire semester, right? And other things like British literature. I'll never use it. I don't care. I don't care what they say. It doesn't matter to me. I took a whole year of British literature. Another class that was just completely useless in my life. And I'm like, you know what? I'm in school. I think there's a direct way. Hey, everybody told me, you go to high school to go to college, right? To go to college to get a career and get a job. And that kind of messed up my plan just because that was a set way. And I should have, stayed on my path a little more directly. And I got distracted. Now I was always doing businesses, side businesses through high school, college, and all that, and had investments going from a young age. 19, I bought my first piece of real estate and carried through. But I just got misdirected. And I really wish there was a more direct connection for the youth today. Hey, you want to take care of your family. You want to take care of your community. You want to be secure. Let's teach you about money. Let's teach you about entrepreneurship. Let's teach you about career planning, because there's different paths for everybody. And one of the big initiatives we promote now are called FLEC subjects, kind of like STEM, financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and career planning in schools from a young age. So these kids have an idea to explore in a safe area, right? Not like go out like I did, trying to figure things out, learn things on my own. Learn in a safe area with people that can guide you and teach you.
Oh, I love it. Say that acronym again.
FLEC.
I love it. FLEC.
So doing a play off the STEM subjects, right? And just trying to make it something that, and we see, I think most people wish they had personal finance knowledge before going to college, before making those decisions, before moving out on their own. But it's just sad today that so few people do.
Yeah.
Now, Vince, I'm going to have some, well, not saying that you don't, but here on our podcast, we love when guys like you come on, because we want to have those real conversations, those raw conversations, and actually put it to some people. If you're not supposed to be an entrepreneur, we want to make you understand that you need a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? If you're a guy that's 9 to 5 and you're supposed to be an entrepreneur, and every day you go to work, you're looking at just like how you're in the class reading those books, they're at work reading about entrepreneur, not even paying attention to if they're driving a tractor, they almost drive off the thing because they're like, yo, I want to figure out how to have my own tractor. Yeah. So a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but that work ethic. Talk about when you left that financial institute and you became your own company, right? Yeah, and I'm jumping ahead of this. What was the expectation and what were the punches that the Mike Tyson punches? Because Mike Tyson said everybody has a plan until they get punched.
True. True.
What was Mike Tyson punch that when you opened your own business, you're just like, well, granted, you had businesses throughout, but that one when you had a solidified organization, what was that punch that you got?
Yeah, I think I had the 1-2 a couple times. I think first coming into this business, I think, okay, I create this great material, go out there and teach and really promote the cause. And just people are going to eat it up. Everybody I talked to said, that's great. Financial literacy is great. Teach me about money. Great. And then you start a business like, okay, what you guys said it was great. Where are you at? So that was kind of like the jab, right? I think the right cross came when we did our first, and it was a positive thing because we got up and we're even stronger. But we had our first big event. Money X Live was our first big major event. 1,000+ attendees. Big celebrities like Wilmer Valderrama, John Sally, NBA great, and just other people that attended. And they were just so passionate about it. I mean, they just donated their time. It was amazing. Right. And we had a lot of sponsorship money lined up. And we're like, this is great. We have this model dialed in. And that was like 2008, 2009 financial crisis. So when they committed, but then they said, hey, we can't do that. We cut all our sponsorship. So, I end up funding a lot of that thing personally, just because my reputation's on the line and so forth. Right. But it actually turned out to be a great thing. Right. It helped me get out there, helped me learn and play with bigger dollars. Right. And I think the ability to, when you're dealing with your personal finance and maybe your commissions or wages or something, it's set. Right. When we're dealing in a business, we're often playing with bigger dollars where, hey, we'll put money into marketing. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, then we're kind of out that. But I would say early on, I got into this thing where I just try, dabble, dip my toe in, right? And I think Money X Live really helped me, jump all the way in and just say, hey, I'm going to make this happen. I don't care what it is. Yeah, financially didn't work out for me on that one, but long term, it was a great investment for me. And I think it got me more comfortable saying, hey, I'm going to take that risk. I know, hey, well, there's an opportunity for complete loss, or we have great potential, and just being able to accept that and take responsibility for whatever the outcome is.
Using that, I love how you put that. Using that boxing analogy, right? Now, when Mike Tyson hits somebody, or let's not use Mike Tyson because he probably knocked him out. He just knocked him out. But when somebody gets hit, you have a couple of people, but I'll talk about two. One person, when they hit that canvas, they're like, listen, I'm not taking another blow like that. I'm going to lay right here. Yeah, I'm going to take this 10 count, and then I'm going to exit stage left. Right? Yeah. And then you have another guy that says, woo, that punch was hard. All right, let me see if I can get up and take another one. I don't think he can punch that hard again. Yeah. And that person gets back up. And what I'm hearing is you're that second person that said, okay, all right, wow. That jab hit, that right cross, I'm on the deck. Yeah. But guess what happened? I'm back up. Let's regroup and let's get back in. What does it take? Or talk about the team that you had that helped you to orchestrate that.
Yeah, the team I had at that point was very small. That was one of our first bigger events, and it was partnering, right? I got a lot of the team through partnerships. So I didn't hire a huge staff. I partnered with a lot of nonprofit organizations. I believe there's 10, 15 organizations that we partner with through that. They provided volunteer support. They provided students to attend. So it was that collaboration with the nonprofits that was very beneficial, and it also helped us attract high-level celebrities. So even though it was a small team at that point, the fact that we're able to partner with these organizations, have established infrastructures, and we could also leverage their years of credibility and years of positioning, right? And we're associated with them at a time where our company was very young and still in its formation process and really finding its identity and brand. And that really helped us establish that credibility, get those key personnel that provided that insight, that provided that guidance. And then a lot on the back end was just me working and a couple other people we had at the time. It's a lot of times these things don't start out as big ventures, and you attract the right team over time. I think once our messaging was more clear and we knew where we were going, then people could be like, oh yeah, I agree with that messaging. Let's jump aboard.
Oh man, I'm glad you said that, man, because it's a journey. You get so many people, and Marlon and I talk to so many people where they're getting started and they're looking at all these grand plans, and their main stream of marketing or whatever it may be is just get on social media or get on podcasts or get on all these different things, like, and that's what's gonna blow them up to the next level. I heard you mention something about, hey, let's put some money into marketing, right? Talk about what that meant for you in terms of putting money into marketing, because some people say, hey, we're going to just sell it ourselves. Some people say, hey, well, I'll just open up an Instagram account, or I'll open up a Facebook and boost one of my posts, myself.
Yeah.
Tell us, like, what it took, because in tying to that marketing aspect, I like the last thing you said about we had to keep, I like using the word, lemon squeezing our messaging until it fit with the audience that we were trying to target, right? Talk about those two engines in itself, just making sure the messaging was right and the marketing aspect was right, so that people can see, you can, reach the target audience that you're trying to market to.
Yeah. I think, when at least our focus is really, one is on the creative side. How do we make this different, stand out, and connect with people in a way that's different, right? So like for Halloween, we have coming up our Cash for Candy campaign that says, hey, parents, buy back your candy from your kids so they don't have that sugar high. They're not getting all that junk food, and you're using that as a teachable moment, right?
Ooh.
Treat givers, give out cash instead of candy, right? So we're trying to think of creative ways, number one. And that's the fun. I love thinking about that stuff. I love brainstorming with our team about that. I'm just trying to think, how can we, really make this more mainstream, as opposed to sitting down with kids, reading. ROI means return on investment, right? And the other point, I think, is the analytics side, right? Is really measuring your marketing dollars, which I think is critical, right? It's that focus on detail and giving it enough time. I think early on, if it didn't work in a week, pull the plug. We're losing money, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, let's watch how this goes over a couple months. Let's start to tweak a few things here and there, see if there's any pickup, or maybe we're just off base. Maybe our messaging is just wrong. And we'll ask people, hey, what did you like? What didn't you like about that? So to me, marketing is a grand experiment always. I don't think I'll ever find the one magic marketing method that works for everything.
Thank you. Yeah.
But we do see a lot of that advertised, plays of, hey, this is the one marketing method. Just do a newsletter.
Correct.
And your problems are solved.
Get your email list up. Get your text message list up. I'll show you how to convert something
post 3
in
times
10
a day.
days. Post 3 times a day. Yeah, they're all out there. And the thing is, I mean, let's not act like for somebody it may have worked.
Yeah, true. Very true.
It may have worked, but it didn't work once they opened their computer up one day, and then that was the first thing they did, and that's the thing that just blew them up to wherever they are right now.
True.
And I like what you're saying, and I could feel it even in your delivery, the patience, right? The patience to let it mature to what it needs to be, not pulling the plug in a month, letting it go for 3 months or months down the road, tweaking as it's going along, not being so fixated on the fact that, oh, this is my thing and I'm forcing it down your throat. Like, no, like you said, listening to feedback, making the necessary changes, because at the end of the day, you want to serve the people that you're building this program for, or product, or whatever it is that people have, not just give them something because you feel it's just what they need, right? Yeah. And I love how you did that and with your team. So talk to us, and I know we're going a little nitty gritty, but there's people out here that need to hear this aspect of it, because this also goes to the financial aspect of it, the diligence that's needed to, and the frequency is needed to really analyze where you are. And I'm not just talking about marketing or business. I'm talking about even financially, right? People say, "Oh yeah, I got my finances are good." I don't know, but how often are you checking the metrics that you have set for yourself? You mentioned your credit score. You mentioned even, I don't know, budget. All those different things. Like, yeah, I have a budget, I've been guilty of this. I have a budget and my bank account doesn't reflect anything for this month that my budget.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
And my budget was fire, man. I can sell that joint, right? Like, yo, this is the budget to use.
Yeah.
Format to use. So talk about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of similarities between entrepreneurship and personal finance. And I think one of the key things you mentioned is patience, right? And like we were chatting about before the show, we see all this instant gratification, whether it be the movie, the 1 minute workout montage. Now I'm battling, a Rocky Balboa, or it's the Instagram where somebody starts a new business and they get this nice car with the the logos all over and the custom license plate, and it's it's not overnight, at least for me. I hope it is for your list. I really do. At least for me, it's been a series of overcoming challenges, growth, having some good years, having some setbacks, and just working toward and through those. And I think whether it's personal finance or business, metrics is really key. And metrics are great to look at when things are going well, right? I love opening my bank statement when the stock market's. I love opening the bank statement. I love looking at that when we have a big month. Oh, let's look at that. But when it's not the best month, or when you're in challenge. I remember when I was in debt, right? I hated opening my credit card statements. I would just put that away. I'm like, then when I open, I'm like, how did this not go down? I paid toward it, right? What's going on? I hated looking at it. So I think, the time we need to look at it most is a time we don't like to, is when things aren't going right. We need to dive into those personal finance metrics, those business metrics, find out what's going wrong, and stick, a lot of times we have to adjust our plan. There's some crazy economic environment going now. A year ago, a lot of people were planning to buy a home. Now they're like, well, mortgage rates are up. That's out of my guide. So I'm just going to relax, right? No, now's the time to replan. Maybe it's not a home, but what's the other investment you can make? Maybe it's, into a business you've been putting off. Hey, what are those first few steps? You may not have all the money to start your dream business now, but what are those first 2 things you can do, right? And just taking a big picture look at those metrics over time, whether it be, little step by step. Hey, I'm trying to improve my credit score. Oh, it went up 10 points. Good. Let's continue that trend. Or, hey, I'm trying to start a business. Okay, I got the URL. I'm starting to write web copy. I'm starting to work on my brand this week, and and keeping that progress going. I think anytime we're moving forward, even if it seems little incremental, it's a good thing. Hey, going back to what you said, Ricky, patience is key. As a young man, I lacked patience, right? I think as I've been getting, a few more gray hairs, I've been gaining patience just from learning it. Patience is a muscle. It doesn't just happen. It takes time to develop. So going back to your point, Ricky, you're right on with that patience statement.
Yeah. So, man, this is so, we could keep you here all night, but I'm gonna tell you. So when I was in California, I had the same idea like you to, because I was like, man, they're teaching finance wrong. Mm-hmm. And I went to, I saw a guy and he said, hey, I work with the schools. And I said, hey, I have an idea for finance. And I presented it to him and he was like, listen, the school's gonna kick you out and say, get the heck out of here. They have their curriculum and they're not gonna deviate from that curriculum because how did you tackle that when you're, you said you're targeting those early kids? How did you tackle that portion of, maybe they might be even more receptive to you now, because I'm hearing that a lot of colleges are losing students because of just a different mindset that people have. But talk about the frustration or the reception that you got from the high schools or whatever academic setting you were going into, teaching this new way of finance.
Yeah, a great question. I think with our public schools, it's I have to exercise a lot of patience. It's like we're business guys, right? We know, hey, this is good. It makes sense. There could be ways to do it at really no cost to you, the school, but they have so much red tape and so forth that blocks out. With our college, I get frustrated too, because sometimes they'll say, hey, we want a speaker out for an hour talking about student loan debt. And we'll be like, okay, that's wonderful, but that's really not going to lead to positive outcomes of helping people really work toward that. You need time, you need rigor, the same things you do teaching other subjects, you need to dedicate the same time there. And then they'll go and do a huge marketing campaign. Oh, we have a financial literacy program. No, you have an hour class. Okay. You don't have a program, So it's an ongoing battle, but you're exactly right. I think opportunities are opening up. People are realizing, hey, there's a financial impact to this on several levels. One, the school level. So when we're talking about schools, colleges, they can see student retention, student acquisition. There's some potential there. So we're targeting on those levels. With public schools, it's tough because there's no real levels we can leverage. But with private schools, we do have that level. Hey, economic crisis. We're the school teaching your kid about money, right? So we can make more of that business pitch and have more of that conversation with them. But that's an ongoing thing, really trying to push quality financial education into schools and not just doing a half-hour class, a 10-hour class, whatever. Financial habits start young. I didn't realize this till we did. So I read some research. Brown University said work ethic forms about age 9. So they surveyed 50,000 youth. Work ethic starts young. We can, if we had bad work ethic, we can improve that, but that starts young. Financial habits start as young as 7 because we see advertisers saying, hey, you need this to be cool. You need this for worth. We have influencers out there showing their own thing, right? And I have no problem with them doing that. And we have schools not teaching. I mean, often parents don't teach. So these kids are getting this, idea of buy, consume, and nobody's telling them not to. So, the only way we could pitch public schools is through moral authority, right? Meaning it's the right thing to do. And we're trying to work through that red tape, through the multiple layers of stamps and approvals. And I know we'll get there eventually, but that's one of my personal objectives, is make sure every kid in this country graduates with knowledge on money, entrepreneurship, and career, just so they graduate self-sufficient and ready to be contributing members of society.
Thank you for listening to the Success Journey Show. Please follow us on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at The Success Journey Show. Also, check out our website at thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's so hard, man, because like you said, I remember times I was trying to put programs in schools, and you're competing with, depending on where you are, you're competing with someone's friend trying to put in a program in a school as well. To everyone to tap into that same budget that's available. And you know what you can offer has such a great value, and the principal knows, but it's always that barrier of, man, we don't have the funding for it. We don't have the funding for it. We can't bring you in. We don't have the funding for it. But if you look at school as a whole, my son is going through a whole private school track, and they're he's getting ready for high school, and they have open house, and the pitches for most of the high schools is, we're really going to get your kid ready for college. Really going to get your kid ready for college. Really going to get your kid ready for college. And I was like, that's cool. That's not the only path.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I hear that, I don't hear a holistic, person that they're making. I hear a person that's going to be geared just like many other people that have gone the college route, but they're going to be great college students, right? That's what I hear. I hear they're going to great college, but missing, like you said, that contributing factor. You can't contribute. All right, listeners, travel all the world. All right, I was going to say it.
Say it, man.
We have listeners from all over the world. All right, so this applies to listeners in the United States. United States is a capitalist society. All right. You could be a great person. You can go out there and help people, all that stuff. But if you don't have capital, you cannot really support or provide or get the resources that really help people the way they need to be helped. I don't care if you're helping people outside, giving them food. You got to have money to buy the food if you want to keep coming back week after week, right? I don't care if it's helping kids in schools. Like, you got to have resources to bring to the kids in school, educators to bring. You got to pay for it, or I have to have money sitting on the side. I don't need the money. I can just go there on my volunteer time, right? It drives everything. So when you're going, what I'm loving what you're saying here today, Vince, and what's so important is like that lack of literacy of financial literacy, really, you're not really contributing at a high level in this in this society, because you don't have that foundation of finance. And in some sense, I think it's designed that way.
I agree. I agree. And you know, a big thing, I look back, you know, what we're teaching kids 2, 3, 500,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, right? It's like, hey, you had a farm, right? You taught your kids how to farm. You were a blacksmith. You taught them how to blacksmith. You were a baker. You taught them how to, you know, it's all about income production. And we got away from that. And I mean, we've been teaching the same subject for 100 years. And it's like, do we have computers now? I mean, hey, Google, what's the capital of Russia, right? I mean, I got the answer. I don't need to memorize that. So, you know, it's like everything should have changed, and it hasn't. But yeah, you're right on. And if we look at the hierarchy of needs, right? What are our needs as human beings? We need security, right? We need food, water, shelter, right? Yes. And we need some emotional strength and fortitude, right? That's just a basic survival thing. Relationship and belonging needs are important, whether it be a loved one or family and friend. And then we can focus on that bigger picture in life, right? But all those 4 areas, it relies on money, right? If you don't have even the later ones like relationship and so forth, if you don't have any money, you're not going out, you're not taking anybody out, you're not doing that, or you know, it's tough.
You're not going to have somewhere to go in either. Forget going out, you have nowhere to go in.
True, yeah. Yeah. And, you know, on a serious note, you know, we did this program where, you know, we brought people to the beach. It was for a career exploration. And these groups was parents and their kids, a middle school, and they're about, I think, 30 to 40 miles away inland, right? We brought them to this Ocean Institute for Career Planning. And it was, it's been a while, but 60 to 70% plus have never been to the beach. And you're thinking, why? The beach is free. Absolutely not. You got to pay for gas. You got to pay for parking. You got to pay for trunks for the kids. There's stuff you need to pay for. So it's not free. And when you're living, you know, where you're, hey, just barely making enough for the basic necessities, it is kind of sad. Yeah.
Vin, you've been in that financial world and people come to you now. My debt's up to here. My job is not, can't suffice. I'm in a rut. And now I come to you. How do you, first of all, you have to untrain them, right? Well, I'm not gonna steer you anyway. How do you apply what you know to combat what they've done and bring them to center or bring them to a place of excellence?
Yeah. You know, with a great question. And a lot of it is more than just the money, as you alluded to, right? It's not just the finances. Hey, what are their behaviors? What are their habits? What are their skill sets? What are the things that contribute, right? And we do, you know, we hear our coaches, I'm not involved in that anymore, but our coaches will analyze them on 34 areas of financial wellness. How are you doing? That's a barometer. Let's work toward moving the needle forward. You know, I'm a big fan of simplifying personal finances. Everybody thinks it's a big mystery, and you have all these ads from all these different companies selling stuff, right? They make it a mystery. Oh, you need us to improve your credit score. You need us to do, you know, get out of debt. That may be helpful, but let's simplify it, right? It comes down to you need to make money. Money needs to be coming in. The more skills and things we can do to earn more money for less time, the better, whether it be a side hustle, side business, entrepreneurial track, another second job, whatever. We also need to control our expenses, you know, with the total goal of being able to save more, right? So the savings is the end goal. How much can we consistently and regularly save to not only prepare for a more secure future, more secure now, but also those life events, that kid, that wedding, whatever's coming up in their life. So I always try to simplify it for people and just say, hey, are we having issues with the income side or the expense side, right? And they'll be like, oh, you know, it's kind of the expense side. Okay, let's where, right? And they know it, right? They just don't want to admit it a lot of times. You know, our coaches do a little more sophisticated analysis, but I've been through it enough times. I just like to get to the issue. And people that come to me kind of want to get to the issue, right? So, but yeah, I think that's, you know, if we can simplify it to them, you know, and like you guys are doing your podcast with entrepreneurship, you're saying, hey, it's not simple. There's soft skill sets you need, but there's a format. We don't have to create this big, huge illusion. There's a format, right? And you just, hey, put time into your study, put time into your work and growth toward that. But it's not a huge mystery. And I think that's what we're trying to do, similar with personal finances here.
But Vin, I only live once. I just wanna spend my money. I'm not gonna take my money to my grave. Yeah. Come on, man. I want a $20,000 wedding. My girl says she wants a $20,000 wedding. I can't afford it, but she's not going to be happy unless I have it.
I try to get them into painting the picture, right? Hey, that's wonderful now. What are your plans after you do that, right? I try to get them to make logical sense of it. I have friends like that, right? They just want to live. They want to live that life. We're going to go get bottles and have a good time. It doesn't matter. I'm like, I'm going to get my drink and go sit over here. I don't need to pay $2,000 tonight. It's like there's, and other people like to live different. Like I tend to be more frugal. That's how I've always been. That's how I am. Other people like that splashy life. Hey, that's wonderful if you do. If you have that splashy life, you need to have splashy money coming in. Otherwise, that splashy life doesn't last too long.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. That's another aspect of it, right? So it's not to say you have to live, you cannot enjoy certain aspects of life.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
But right now, I think this happened. I don't know when you guys are going to hear this, but recently, I'm a adopted Warrior fan because of Steph Curry. All right. I'm a Laker fan by heart, but Steph Curry kind of pulled me over to the Warrior side.
And he's from New York. So that's
from
two
New York
right there.
Wow. You really pulled all directions, huh?
Yeah. But my father was a Laker fan. So it kind of always was something that was a part of our culture in the household.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. In New York.
That's funny.
So, Jordan Poole, right? He just landed a $140 million 4-year contract. He can buy things I can't buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you said, he has that splash that he can splash. Now, there's levels to where he is at as well, right?
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about if I have the capacity and the ability to bring in more revenue, my life can look differently. Like there's different things I can afford, things that I can afford to do, but everything is relative, right? Sure. And as long as you live within your I can't live in Jordan Poole's world and expect to sustain a lifestyle going out with him every single night. Like
one night. I can't
even do one night, right? unless he's invited me and paying for it, right?
Yeah.
So there's levels to it, and I'm glad you said it. Like, hey, you need to have the money coming in to support what you want to do, and let's look at that money. And because I've heard about people, and you could probably test to this and share a little bit around this, where people they start off around, hey, we have our budgets, and even my family, you was like, all right, we go to the grocery store, we're going to spend this amount of money. Or you're really like looking through the aisles like, oh man, you're counting the money as you're putting it into the cart, right? Then you start making a little bit more money. You're not really counting anymore, just throwing stuff in the cart, right? Then you're not even doing that. You're going by, you're inviting people over and you're doing all that other stuff. And like there's levels to it. Then it goes to the point where I've been budgeting and I've been disciplined so long in my budget that when I get that huge increase in funds and capital, I don't really necessarily have to sit down to my budget every single day because it's a lifestyle that I already incorporated. I kind of know it's ingrained in me. And sometimes I can just move away from my budget because I just know that there's no way I can outspend. If I stay within that same mind frame, it's hard. There's no way I can outspend what I earn, right? It's always going to be going to be there, right? Like I think Jim Rohn said something around that as well. Around like, hey, you live. He talked about the 70-10-10-10 rule, and he was saying, every year try to adjust that. Spend 70% is on spending and paying your bills and all that kind of stuff. 10% on investment, 10% on savings, 10% on charity, right? And he said over a year you kind of adjust it so you let your spending become less, because when you start making more money, there's no way I'm going to be spending 70% of my income.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly, exactly.
You know, so I just talk about any examples that you've seen of people that have actually grown in this, and it doesn't have to be specific people, but more so the concepts around, hey, they've grown, they've seen, they got the foundation right, and now they're living a life in a completely different space than they were when they came to us.
Yeah, I think I've seen both sides, right? I come from many years of my former life in the mortgage industry, right? When it was the heyday, people were making a ton of money. All these guys were seeing the credit reports, they were all, you know, even in the good days, right? People were having struggles. We all saw that. And all my buddies were out there buying the fifth wheels, buying the ATVs, you know, boats, you know, second homes. Yeah, they were living that, big lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
And then rates went up, right? What happened? They lost the house, they lost the RV, they lost all those things, right? In order, right? And it happened across the board. Yeah. And you know, so it's and that was fine for some of them. You know, some of them it's like, hey, that's perfectly fine because they say, hey, I want to live for today. I don't care. I'm going to live that life and have a good time. For other people on a more serious note, I had a good buddy. You know, you wouldn't think of this guy, you know, 6'5", 6'6", you know, yoked, just 280, worked out, just a manly man, right? I hit him so bad, he ended up killing himself, right? And a good friend of mine, money. It's money. Yeah, that's what it was. He didn't feel like that was there, and you know, and it just happened. So there's minor consequences and there are big consequences. You know, I've had to dig myself out of the hole many times, but I've had that attitude where it's like, hey, I'm going to keep my overhead as low as possible, right? And hey, when I have those good times and more money's coming in, I'll let myself go and we'll have a little more fun. But I'm always, 3, 5, 10 years down the road with that vision and trying to stay focused there. But it is a challenge. I mean, there's so many things pulling us to spend our money. Ads that track you, keeping up with your peers, seeing everything that people are doing. And life's a lot of fun when you have a lot of money. You can rent that boat for the week, you can do all those things. I'm hoping I can do that, that big lifestyle, like we see some of the celebrities and sports stars out there able to do, the shack yacht and so forth. But, that's not even one of my big picture goals, but hey, at least to be able to, get a yacht around and do that. Yeah. It's not happening now, but it keeps me motivated for what's coming in the future. And I celebrate, hey, where I'm at now and the comfort and what I've been able to do. And I think that's what I encourage people to do is, hey, find those different levels and be happy at those different levels and work toward those things. Don't feel like you're always living without. As you said, we're in America. We have a lot of opportunities. I know in countries around the world, there's more and more opportunities every day, which is wonderful. We're seeing the biggest increase of people coming out of poverty ever because of capitalism and what's going on, and just being able to lift people out from less than $1 a day. It's been amazing, and I hope it continues. So no matter where you're at, there's opportunities. It's a global workplace, global environment. And I wish you success in your journey and to appreciate the steps along the way.
So now it's going to be, if we had you on the show and we didn't have you put on your Nostradamus hat on and do a couple predictions for us, people would be like, man, you had the finance guru on there and you didn't ask him certain questions. The economy now, you mentioned it. There's two sides. There's a lot of people the recession's coming. The recession's coming. Oh, we are going to be in the biggest recession ever. You think 2008 was hard? Oh, it's going to be here. Oh, and they go on and they go on and they go on. Don't buy a house because you're paying 6 point or you're paying 5.9. What is your take on all this confusion that's out here? Because people don't have financial literacy, and now they have two sides that are overwhelming them, and they definitely don't know which way to go. Yeah. What are some of your predictions and some of your takes or some of the methods that you're using right now? I don't know if you're still doing real estate. I know you said that you're young. Yeah. What are you doing right now when it comes to the real estate aspect, and also how are you regarding money now that we have potentially going inflation and all these different things?
Yeah, I can tell you with 100% certainty, I don't know, right? And any financial guru in their whole world, but what I encourage people to do, and I'll share with what I'm doing as well. And what I would encourage people to do is, hey, try to find out for yourself. If you don't know, read opposing viewpoints, right? Read things. I've been right sometimes. I made some money. I've been wrong sometimes. I lost some money. I don't know. But personally, what I'm doing, I just really, I saw a lot of this coming up, and I was fortunate to see that, and I started to invest more in physical goods and really stock up and really hone up my real estate properties and portfolio, and just set for that next stage. Really lock in my interest rates when rates were good. That's why I did coming into that, right? So a lot of this is about preparation. What I can tell you is that times like this lead to extraordinary opportunities. Be ready, right? So if you're not in shape and you're getting beat up and you're like, I can't pay these bills, inflation's sky high, I can't buy a home, my interest rate, now's the time to get your war chest together, right? Prepare for the attack. Now's not the time to be on defense. Get hungry. And I think we're hungrier when we're on the attack. So start to save more if you can, right? It's going to take extra work, extra effort, and it's more challenging through these times. But the opportunities that present themselves anytime there's major fluctuations, positive or negative, represent opportunities for you. And I wish I had the golden egg and say, hey, invest in this or do this. But again, I've been right. I guess I've been right a little more than I've been wrong, or maybe about the same. But I cut my losses pretty quickly, and just try to ride the winners. And I wish you guys the best. And again, if you're out there thinking what to do, don't just rely on one person. Do your research, get a good feel, and anything you can become an expert in, or at least at expert level. If you want to invest in the stock market, you better take stock investing classes. Don't just get a financial advisor. You make your own decisions. That's going to allow you to sleep soundly at night. If you're going to buy a home, don't just talk to a realtor or mortgage broker. They want you to buy it, right? That's where the commission lies. Do your own research, right? And the more expertise you can develop in those areas, and find those mentors. Or one of the key things is to find guys like you, right? That they can watch and get guidance from, that's on the not only the big picture, but also the soft skill sets that you cover each and every time here. It's the soft skill sets that are really key. Hey, if I have a company, can I sell? If not, what's the problem? That's a skill set I need to be. Hey, am I organized? If I have a company and I have papers laying all around and I don't have a calendar, how do I get organized? So, now's the time not only financially to accumulate as much assets as possible, be prepared, but also, and maybe you can't, accumulate those assets to be prepared financially, but you can accumulate those soft skills. It's free. You don't need to go to college. Watch regularly here. Find those people that are your mentors and people you look up to, and start to build the biggest asset, which is you.
Man, I love that answer.
Love it.
That is when you talk to a guru, and I'm gonna go right to you because I want to hug Rick. I know I see Rick had a passion today. I love Rick. Rick always have a passion, but there's something that he wanted to. I don't know what happened. Maybe he saw Jordan Poole get that 140.
I saw my credit score. That's what happened.
But the answer you gave was perfect, because a lot of people want to steer somebody, just like we said with the marketing. Hey, 3 clicks and you're good, or news ad. There's no. I'm in Virginia. From Virginia to Maryland, where Ricky lives, is 2 different markets.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you, hey, Rick, don't buy a house, because in Virginia, the house are overinflated. A house that was $500,000 now it's $800,000, plus it's a 6 point whatever rate. Maybe up in Maryland, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a seller's market. Maybe he could, or buyer's market. Maybe he'll have a better chance up there, and it's still growing. So your answer is those soft skills and the foundational, which is still the soft skills, the foundation skills are what people need in order to analyze. Do it yourself. Make sure you're ahead of the game, and make sure you're educating yourself to make sure that you are making the right decisions. Rick, over to you. I don't want to hog you up,
man. No. Listen, man, this is a lot of content that has been shared today, and I wanted to give you a chance to share a little bit more on where people can connect with you, your team, and make sure that they need help. They can sign up with you or one of your coaches to start getting on the right track and taking your suggestions serious, and getting themselves some support and some help.
Yeah, I love to connect with anybody that has a passion. There's two people, right? One of those people that have a passion for personal finance and helping people and helping them work toward greater financial wellness, supporting your community. Those people, connect with me on LinkedIn or our website, financialeducatorscouncil.org. And for those two that have that burning desire to improve their finances, work toward that, connect with us as well. You won't be working with me personally, but we have some great coaches, great educators, and great people that are in your local community. We have educators and coaches in every state across the U.S. So and 60 countries too. So your international audience, connect with us as well. We value everybody. It is a global effort to tackle this epidemic of economic crisis that a lot of people are going through and help them work toward and empower them toward greater financial strength. So I really value you guys for allowing me to be here and share this with you. A lot of fun. And I value your audience for taking time out of your day to get some skills and get some knowledge that's going to progress you forward.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, just for the sake of asking, I know they can go on the websites and stuff. Do you guys have like a free consultation first, or okay? How does that work? That process work?
Yeah, so for those that are looking to work with a coach or work with an educator in their local communities, free consultation. A lot about coaching and education is that personality, right? You're not going to connect with everybody. It's about finding that person that you relate to. It's like, hey, people turn in your podcast because they relate to you, they have fun, they get some great information. Same thing with the coach. You want to interview enough coaches. If the first one isn't a fit, you will provide you other ones as well. And that way you can find that person that has your same vision and you can relate to, because you're going to be sharing things you maybe haven't shared with anybody else in your life, right? So you're going to be pretty vulnerable, and it's what you see on your Instagram probably won't match behind the scenes, and that's okay. We're used to that. We want to help that behind the scenes match the Instagram, right? So that's our coach's goal, and any way we can support you guys, we're happy to do so.
Love it. Love it. Love it. And one last question around that, your services are your coaches, do they assess different tiers of where people are? Like some people may be looking at, hey, I want to do some wealth planning now, or some people are like, hey, I just need to get out of debt, or some people are like, hey, I'm early career and I just want to know what to do with my money as I'm just getting started. Do you guys have
setting up a
levels?
trust?
Yeah. Great question. I would say our coaches are mainly those people that aren't. It varies. It extends the reach, but they're typically not those big money people because they have financial advisors, they have realtors, and they've probably been pretty good with their money if they're making larger scale investments. There are exceptions though, right? There's plenty of exceptions, and we've seen it. So if you need to tighten that back in, but I'd say the majority of people we help are the people that don't have access to trusted guidance, right? They don't have enough money to work with a financial advisor. They're not positioned to buy a home, and other, maybe they're working with a CPA or tax planner, or maybe not, but they don't have access to that information on their finances from a holistic perspective. So for those people, which I think is the majority of people in America and across the world, we wanted to give them a trusted source that can evaluate. Here's where you're at. Let's work together towards strengthening your finances. So that's our mission. I wish somebody was there for me when I was going through that period of my life, right? Yeah. So it's meaningful for me as well.
Love it. Man, we want to thank you so much, Vince, for just joining us today. This has been a great session. And I love everything that you shared. And I know you have so much more. Everyone, that is listening to us right now, please do us a favor and leave a review, leave a comment on this episode, but more importantly, reach out. I don't know where you are in your financial journey. I don't know. You may have it all together. You may just be like, can't sleep at night, because you're trying to figure out how you're going to eat the next day, or bill you're going to pay. You're going to rob Paul, pay Peter, rob Philip. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, Paul and Peter always get the bad.
Yeah. So, and you just want some help, reach out to Vince and his team, and just talk to somebody, right? Talk to somebody, so we can get you on a right track. And I love what you said, Vince, because there is as much as you want to see everyone financially stable and going in the right direction, and that financial literacy, there's also that sense of patience with that person, and that person realizing it's not something that's going to happen overnight. and it's okay. Wherever you are right now, it's okay. Like it's bigger than what you have in a bank right now. It's bigger than your financial score, a credit score. It's bigger than the savings that you have for your kids. Like it's bigger than all of that. Like life is so much bigger than all that. But we just want to help you be able to, get control of this area a little bit more. So give yourself patience, give yourself grace as you're going through this. And let's just work together to get on the right track. Right. And I love that messaging around that, because it relieves the pressure from people of feeling they're not worthy, feeling like, oh man, I failed in life. Yeah. Like I'm nothing. I don't have a great job. I don't have, I'm 35, 40, and I'm still trying to figure out things. Like, okay, it's all right. Let's just start where we are and let's move forward. Right. So man, I really appreciate your insights, your thoughts, for joining us on the Success Journey Show. It's been a true pleasure. To all of our travelers around the world, I want to thank you for tuning in with us. And we want to say we will see you guys next week at the same time, the same place on the Success Journey Show. Everyone have a good one. Peace.
All right. One love.
You've been listening to the Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.